Today is Friday, November the 6th, and I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my morning political thought. And of course, this morning in Los Angeles, this morning in America, if you want to call this America. Um, where to start? Where to start? Where to start? First of all, I'm always thankful when I wake up and see another day, especially because for some of the people who may not know, on my other channel, they definitely know because I'm more open about things on there in my personal life because I have to be because that channel deals with certain stuff. And I had dealt with mono this year, and it was definitely an experience. I'm more appreciative of health after dealing with mono and of life in general. So anytime that I wake up, I'm thankful. And I'm saying that now. I say that because lately, every single day that I wake up over, or that I've woke up over the past week, maybe, people have been losing their minds. And I don't know. I really don't know. People have been losing their minds. And I'm waiting right now just to let you know what the time is. It's 6:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as you already know, Los Angeles. And I'm the War Room, which is Steve Bannon's show, and I mentioned this before. The best coverage on this election fiasco has been the War Room. Steve Bannon has had the most accurate information out of pretty much everyone. So I've been watching the War Room because I'm like, oh wow, he really knows what he's talking about, as he should, because I mean, Steve Bannon is Steve Bannon. Yesterday on the War Room, because he did an episode in the morning and then he did an episode in the afternoon or evening. The episode in the afternoon evening was banned. So Steve Bannon was banned on that episode. They had already, and he was in the middle of explaining, they put a strike against one of his other episodes because he used a metaphor that everyone knows when he was talking about some people who are affiliated with the Trump administration. Okay, so that happened, and the episode cut off while I was watching it, and I'm like, wow, I was really enjoying this. So it's supposed to start at 6:55 a.m. It's 6:49 a.m. now, looking, or 6:48, depending on what clock I look at in this apartment. And it just amazes me how everyone is just cool with this. How they don't realize that eventually they will get caught up in the censorship too when they fall out of line. Where the people who are cheering that, yay, Steve Bannon got banned, his episode got taken down, he got a strike, yay. But they can become targets as well. It's open season on everyone. And not that I care about YouTube, because when honestly, and I mentioned this before, the only reason I do video stuff is because I like to show my face. I'm the person who believes that if you have an opinion about something, one of my muses, the late and great Whitney Houston, she said, you need to show what you look like. If you have an opinion about something, you need to show your face. You don't need to hide behind a microphone or behind an avatar or whatever, behind the keyboard and all that stuff. If you have something to say, go ahead and say it. If you're going to be out and about doing this and that, show your face. Own it. And me doing this is just the extra, the icing on the cake, I guess you could say, having a little bit of extra real estate when it comes to social media and everything. But as for YouTube and Daily Motion, I like BitChute. The community is different with BitChute, and they're really cool over on BitChute. So this isn't really directed at BitChute. But when it comes to these other platforms, I don't care. The only thing I really care about is my podcast. That's it. And I have listeners who listen to my podcast, actually more listeners who listen to my podcast than watch my shows. And I'm fine with that. But this whole thing of cheering that Steve Bannon got banned, and him even being banned, his episode being taken down when he's stating facts and opinions. That's the other thing. An opinion is an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Right, wrong, or indifferent, it's their opinion and it's their right to have an opinion. So when these platforms say, oh, well, we don't agree with your opinion, so we'll take it down, that's kind of violating that thing called free speech. And they can say, oh, well, it's our platform, da 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 da. You agree to the terms and service. Yeah. I have a fleet of attorneys. Plenty, like 20 or 30 of them. I have so many attorneys, I don't know how many are at the freaking law firm. But this is my thing. It's more than free speech. This is something that is woven into the fabric of what we call the United States of America. And when people tear at that fabric, tear at that thread that is woven in to the United States of America, they are unraveling the United States of America. Now, in addition to saying things that are disturbing, just a heads up, I will be making an announcement this weekend on the Purple Elephant Show. For those of you who may not know, my morning political thought is a supplement to the Purple Elephant Show. The Purple Elephant Show is a weekend show. And I plan to add another supplement to the Purple Elephant Show. That supplement will be for adults only. And I will explain the details of that this weekend when I upload my episode of the Purple Elephant Show explaining about that and about the new supplement that is coming to the Purple Elephant Show. For those who have sensitive ears, that supplement will not be for you. And you can listen to these. This is my morning political thought and the Purple Elephant Show on the weekend when I do those. This is a toned down version, a very toned down version of me, is what it is. The supplement is going to be something a little bit different. So if you have sensitive ears, if you're offended by if you're easily offended by what someone says, that's not going to be the supplement for you. But you have the morning political thought and you have the Purple Elephant Show itself. So that's just a heads up. As for what disturbed me, and it's 6:55 right now, I'm going to give it another 5 minutes, or actually another minute or two, and then I'm going to check to see if the episode comes up on War Room. But as for what disturbed me yesterday when someone said something, and I'm not going to say where I heard it because I don't want it to seem like I'm going after someone, because I'm not. This isn't an attack on anyone. This is just a question, more or less, and my opinion and a statement. Yesterday, someone said, well, and this was someone who supports the president, they were like, well, if the president doesn't prevail, which, by the way, I'm still not picking up a bad vibe. I'm still not like, okay, hit break in case of emergency. I'm not at that point. I'm still not at that point. I'm not picking up the vibe. Maybe my intuition is off, but I'm not at the break in case of emergency point. Not there yet. But anyways, someone said, well, if the president doesn't prevail, then the Republicans better go after Joe Biden since they'll still have the majority in the Senate. What? Have people not been paying attention? Do people do people not understand that Joe Biden was the puppet to get into office? Do people not realize that Nancy Pelosi, that whole 25th Amendment thing, it was a twofer. She was talking about President Trump, don't get me wrong. But also she was talking about Joe Biden. So if let's just say in another reality, because there are many realities. So when I tell you Avengers isn't too far off on things, they really aren't too far off on things. There are many realities. Let's say in a different reality that Joe Biden wins and he's in office. The Republicans go after him. Since he's the puppet, and since Kamala was the one they wanted anyway to pretty much usher in their ideas and whatnot, what makes you think the Democrats wouldn't be like, take him so we can have the first woman president? So when I hear somebody say, oh, well, if the president doesn't prevail, then the Republicans better go after Joe Biden. What for? What's the point at this point? Joe Biden is having early, well, actually, I wouldn't even say early. Joe Biden is having issues, and we know what those issues are. What would be the point? What would be the point of him going to jail? What would be the point of indictments and all this other stuff? Now, Hunter, that's another story. But for Joe, what would be the point? It's almost like with what happened with Bill Cosby. What was the point? Do you know how old that man is? What's done is done. He'll just have to answer later on. So with Joe and his situation, Democrats would throw him overboard quick. That wouldn't be a win. That's not a win if Republicans go after Joe Biden. It's not a win because Democrats don't want Joe Biden as president anyway because Joe Biden is the puppet. They would much rather have Kamala. And what will happen is if the Republicans go after him, the media, because again, the media, most media, 80% of the media, Democrats, they will carry, of the mainstream media, will carry water and hop on board because they'll get their marching orders to say, hey, don't protect Joe. Just like they have their marching orders right now, hey, protect Joe during this whole fiasco. They would hop on board and that would be that. So what's the point? There isn't any. And that'd disturb me. I'm like, dude, you're not putting things together. And this is, oh boy. You know, I mentioned this before. Democrats are when I talk about party, people in power, Democrats are too ruthless and Republicans are too weak. It makes me do this number right here, rubbing my temples. I can't. After all of this, I really believe that in an alternate universe, if President Trump doesn't prevail, there will just be a new party. Because, again, like I said yesterday, the Republican Party is not the Republican Party. The Republican Party is President Trump's party. And some Republicans have started speaking up and doing tweets. Lindsey Graham said he's donating $500,000. Yeah, good for you. And whatnot. But secretly, or not so secretly, give me 2 seconds because I want to check if the war room is up. I want to check if the war room is up. Did he? Nope. He's fully banned. I just tried it. I literally just tried the war room. It says something went wrong. This video has been removed for violating YouTube's terms of service. Because they already had it where it was pre-planned and laid out to go live. So yeah, no, the war room is banned. So one of the reliable sources. Yeah, I'm going to have to go on DuckDuckGo and see if Steve Bannon is on another platform for the war room, which maybe he should have been on, which he might be on BitChute. I have to check that out. But yeah, this is what's happening. So yeah, and after I did that, I lost my train of thought, but it's whatever. But when it comes to a new party and everyone doing what they're doing, I honestly believe that there will be a new party. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was called the MAGA Party. To be honest, I mean, what better name for a party? Make America Great Again. There's nothing wrong with that. So you might have the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, and the MAGA Party. Now, of course, things will happen and things will be done to minimize the party, to make it feel like there isn't a place for it. And in the duopoly, which Lou Dobbs has said one time, Republicans and Democrats are opposite wings of the same bird, where they will probably join together to possibly keep the party at a minimum. So when it comes to creating parties and election laws and stuff like that, that is not my expertise, and I won't pretend like it is. But I know people. I know people very well. And one thing that I do know is that people who are in power, they will do whatever they can to hold on to that power, which is why we're witnessing what we're witnessing now. Because the people in power don't want to be held accountable for the things that they've done. And I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans all around the board. I don't care what they are. Anybody in DC that's in power, they don't want to be held accountable for what they've done. And they will do everything they can to hold on to that power. But as I mentioned before, in one of my episodes, wait for it, basically saying that eventually when the pendulum gets pushed far enough, it's gonna swing back. And when it swings back, it's not pretty. And people in government need to realize there's over 300 million people in this country. There's enough guns for every man, woman, and child. And I know that Beto O'Rourke or Robert Francis O'Rourke and other people are like, oh, we're going to take the guns. Yeah, good luck with that one. You may want to back off on, what's that word I'm looking for? The hubris. I think that would be the right word. Hubris. To think that you can keep pushing a group of people. Everyone and everything has their breaking point. And I feel and this is just I'm reading people right now. I feel that some people are getting close to their breaking point. And I'm not saying there will be a civil war, because I honestly believe we're more civilized than that. What I do believe is that certain things may happen from time to time that may be more surgical. And that, which some people could say, well, that's the civil, because the Civil War could be defined in many different ways. But I really believe that people are going to push back. I don't necessarily believe it will be in a physical, kinetic form, but there are other ways. Trust me, there are other ways to destroy individuals and to destroy countries. Because people always think, oh, well, it has to be kinetic, it has to be nuclear, it has to be this, it has to be that. There are so many ways to break down an individual without even touching them. And there are so many ways to break down countries without even letting one soldier step foot on that country's land. So I really want people to get their wits about them and not say things like, oh, well, the Republicans need to go after Joe Biden if President Trump doesn't prevail. Because that's not the ticket. That is a fail. That is not a win. You are the weakest link. And that is what I have for my morning political thought. ThePurpleElephantShow.com main podcasting platform. The Purple Elephant Show on Parler, one of the free websites, one of the free social media platforms where you can say what you want to say. The Purple Elephant Show on Instagram. We'll see how free Instagram is, which is owned by Facebook, because obviously Facebook wasn't innovative enough to come up with their own Instagram, so they had to buy Instagram back at that time. But these are minor details. So yeah, The Purple Elephant Show on Instagram. At RealTPES on Twitter, where they're censoring everyone, including the President of the United States. Which, how that works, I don't know. But I'll have some comments on that in my new supplement, too. So be ready for that one. What's the other platforms? Oh, yeah, Facebook.com/The Purple Elephant Show. If you're watching this on BitChute, which I love you, people on BitChute, I rock with you because you rock with me. YouTube, garbage. Or Dailymotion, I'm indifferent. Please hit the subscribe button, followed by the notification bell for garbage YouTube. That will let you know when I upload new videos. Until next time, be blessed.